Actor Jonathan Majors is expected to appear virtually in court today. He faces charges of assault and harassment following an alleged domestic dispute back in March. Majors denies any wrongdoing. It remains unclear how this case will impact or could impact the 33-year-old's career. He recently appeared in Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. For more on this, let's bring in entertainment attorney Mitra Ahouraian. She's going to break this all down for us. So, Mitra, break this case down for us. We're talking about things about his career, which I think is the last thing on his mind right now. He wants to prove his innocence. So break that down for us.
Yeah, I would say that it's a tricky situation. It's hard these days to defend a domestic violence accusation simply because most states now, New York included, have a mandatory arrest law that says that even if the alleged victim does not want to bring charges, even if they recant and change their story, which is what's happening here, that the DA can still proceed with charges. And that's what makes it really tricky to defend, is that, it's almost like a presumption of guilt before you're innocent. So we have sort of that aspect of it that's making it challenging. Of course, Jonathan has the best lawyers, and they've already started to release some of the evidence that they're going to be presenting. Some of those are those text messages from his, alleged victim saying that, it was my fault. I shouldn't have done this. I don't want them to press charges. Please, I love you. And the problem is this is all very common in domestic violence cases, and it's not really evidence that it didn't happen.
So we already know that Majors has been dropped from a number of projects. I think that's when we first heard the story, Vlad, we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll see how things unfold. And then, he was dropped from one project and another project and another project. And it made me wonder, no matter how things unfold in the criminal justice system, the damage may be done to his career. I mean, what have you seen before?
Yeah, it's kind of this unavoidable consequence of allegations being brought against you. We see it all the time with sexual abuse allegations. Studios don't want to touch it. And, the same thing with violence. That's taken very seriously, and domestic violence is, another level of that. So you do see some of his reps dropping him. His manager is no longer representing him, his publicist, but he still has his agency. William Morris Endeavor is still sort of wait and see. Marvel, Disney, they're both sort of wait and see. They have not pulled yet. There's a lot that needs to happen before they can pull out. But these contracts do allow studios and production companies to decide not to use the actor for any number of reasons, and certain types of contracts, pay or play contracts, which would be very common in an actor of his level, would require them to still pay him even if they pulled out. So it's really unfortunate that some of these repercussions are happening now as opposed to, likely today when we find out what's going to happen. But that is sort of the nature, I think, in any industry, and in particular in industry where really the spotlight is on you.
Yeah, so Mitra, that was sort of my question, right? On one hand, you have the legal case, and he is innocent until he has been proven guilty. So he could say to the studios, to his managers, his publicists, all the people, look, I'm innocent of these. Why are you dropping me? On the other hand, there's perception, which is, look, you may be innocent, but we can't be seen to be associated with someone who is accused, even just accused of these actions. So from a legal standpoint, because he hasn't been proven guilty, so you're saying that there could be in his contract something that says, look, even if you are just simply accused of something, we may want to distance ourselves from you.
Well, most often studios can choose not to use your work or your performance for any reason at all. The question becomes, whether they have to pay you or not. And so with a actor at his level, he probably has a pay or play, which means even if we pull you, even if we never use your services, even if we, shoot your services and, film you and then decide not to put you in the movie, we can do that. But under a pay or play, we would still have to pay you for that. Of course, that's a situation where there isn't a breach necessarily. This is just a preemptive sort of, we're going to distance ourselves from the situation that's happening right now. And it's really hard. A lot of these cases are very much he said, she said, unfortunately, and there are two sides to a story. If I'm anyone that's sort of being accused of these type of things in the celebrity realm, I'm going to point to Johnny Depp. I'm going to point to the fact that, he had a chance to show that he was not guilty of all of this, that he was punished for these accusations that Amber Heard made that weren't, that were found to be defamatory. So I'm going to point to that, and I'm going to say, this happens in a situation where something like this is not fair for somebody to bring allegations and for it to impact my career if I'm not actually proven guilty. So I think that case was a win for celebrities everywhere. And that's something that's probably going to be a conversation that's had going forward.
Mitra Ahouraian, thank you very much.